Hey guys, this is B Nova with SoRaspy.com, and I'm about to bring you an exclusive behind-the-scenes, sneak peek, intimate interview with Mona Scott Young. For those of you who don't know who that is, she's actually the mastermind behind Love and Hip Hop, the ratchet show that we all love to hate, hate to love. For those of you who don't know about her, Mona Scott Young actually was an executive at Violator Records, and she's branched out to her own cosmetics line, beauty line, and she also has her own drink, Moscato type drink that we'll show you about a little later. So just stick with us and we'll check it out.
The massive artists you guys built when you were together at Violators, Busta Rhymes, you had Missy Elliott, there's Maxwell, LL Cool J, 50 Cent,
Fantasia, Diddy, Mariah Carey, and the list goes on and on and on. I mean, at its height, we were probably one of the premier urban management companies. We had everybody come through those doors. We were at the, and I'm very, very proud of this. So it isn't like, you know, bragging, but just realizing the impact that we had on really legitimizing hip hop as a business. You know, it was always an art form. It was always a culture. But I think, you know, to some extent, it was being taken advantage of. The artists that were, you know, moving the needle in sales for a lot of these corporations, they were using that music to sell everything. But those guys weren't being compensated. And so, you know, that became kind of a big mission statement for us, legitimizing it, bridging the gap, being the liaison. And we became kind of a gateway to the culture for corporate America.
And you were doing this, you know, it's very interesting. You're a woman in this industry that's very, at the time, very male dominated. Lots of strong egos, lots of strong personalities. On your new show, The Gossip Game, there's this phrase I always say that they keep saying about being a woman in the game. You were a woman in the game at this time.
I'm still a woman in the game.
You're still a woman in the game. But what did it mean then? What does that mean to be a woman in the game during the Violator years?
You know, I wonder if I was either so naive I didn't subscribe to it, or maybe it was that I have a tendency to put blinders on. You know, and it's something that I talk to, you know, the women that I come in contact with, especially the cast members, like, focus on your end goal. Right? Because if you have to stop and look around, you're going to get distracted. And you're not going to get to where you're going, at least not at the pace that you're trying to get there at. So I have a tendency to just kind of be single-minded in purpose when there's something that I'm trying to accomplish. And Violator at the time was a vision. You know, it had all of the potential for greatness. And it solely depended on my ability to make it happen. Of course with Chris as well, but I'm saying this was my day in, day out effort, right? This was going to be my legacy, my mark on the world. So I had blinders on. And I didn't really subscribe to it. I'm sure it existed. I'm sure I was exposed to it. You know, call it naivete, call it just, you know, making a decision not to subscribe to it, not to lend it credence. But I was focused, you know. It didn't stop me none. At least I don't think it did.
But I imagine that some of these people were difficult to work with at times. So I'm going to play a little game. Who was more difficult to work with?
Okay, who was more difficult to work with? Busta Rhymes.
LL Cool J or Busta Rhymes?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know.
Can I
answer the question too soon?
LL Cool J or Busta Rhymes?
Please, Busta Rhymes, my heartbeat. LL Dream. LL was in control of his, and Busta is too. I mean, I call him my firstborn, but Busta's like a big baby. He wants you to focus and pay attention and nurture, so Busta Rhymes all day. Next.
Busta Rhymes or 50 Cent? Got her.
Now, for different reasons, 50, can we curse here? I curse.
It's all safe in here.
All right, 50 is a, you know, what I called, he likes to mind fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, 50 was incredibly astute, so he was more work in that you always had to be on your toes, like, what do you mean by that? Did he really mean to say, you know? So Busta's more transparent. You know what you're getting, it's all love, he lays it out on the table, no holds barred. 50, you kind of had to, you know, have your antennas up at all times.
Well, then I'll adjust this one and then say Busta Rhymes or Jim Jones. Stumping her. I'm winning.
Well, because I'm weighing all the pros and cons before I give it to Busta Rhymes or Jim Jones. What was the question again? Can you please repeat the question?
Who was more difficult to work with?
Difficult to work with. Oh, you know what? Then I don't want to say Busta was difficult to. Who was more difficult, but not to work with? He was just difficult.
Who was more challenging? Who did you have the most
I would say Jim Jones. If I had to say Busta Rhymes and Jim Jones, I'd say Jim Jones.
Care to elaborate for us?
Well, because Busta was difficult. Like I said, not difficult to work with in that it was a deterrent to me working with him. It's just he's a lot of work, just for no reason. Buster would get up in the morning and would just want to bust my chops for no reason. Jim was a little bit of a different person. I was gonna say creature, but I don't want to say something that somebody takes and runs left with, because I use that word with all the love in the world. He digs his heels in, and sometimes unnecessarily. And I just feel that if you're too rigid, you tend to break. So it was a different experience. Was that diplomatic or what? You know?
To my right, we have Mixed Fusions, which is actually Mona's collaboration for fruit-infused Moscatos over here. So we have peach, coconut, and I think original flavor. Let's just ask one of the guests how they like it. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. Which one are you drinking tonight?
I'm having the Moscato coconut.
Okay, so let's take a look at the bottle here. And how did you like it?
I think it's great. Sweet. It's not poweringly sweet, and it's pretty good. I like it.
Okay, I actually tried the peach one earlier. It's a little nice, not, you know, something to get you a little tipsy, but it's pretty cool. So, you know, if you guys want to try this is out on the market, look for it in stores. So I just had 2 questions for you. Sure. I'm actually going to school for communications, so I was trying to do something like what you're doing, TV, radio, things like that. I just wanted to know, do you feel like it's more towards education or who you know?
You mean in terms of your ability to get into the door? I think it's a little bit of both. You know, I always advocate for getting that degree. It's something that I didn't do, but I always felt that I wish I had that in my back pocket, in my arsenal. But a lot of it is relationships, a lot of it is networking, getting your foot in the door. I think there is so much to be said for just work experience and getting in there, rolling up your sleeves and learning the business from the bottom up. So it's a little bit of a combination of both, but you've got to have the hustle, the wherewithal, because even with the degree, that's not going to get you, it's only going to get you so far.
Do you have like internship opportunities for your company, or how does one go about doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for interns in the company. We bring them in, and you know, I like kind of promoting and creating opportunities from within. So we do have an internship program. We bring people in all the time, whether it be working in the office, shadowing me in the field. It is something that we do.
And last question, what kind of foods do you like to eat with your Moscato?
Actually, with my Moscato, I just like to drink it when I'm relaxing. Absolutely. But I mean, listen, as you can tell, I like all kinds of foods. But mostly kind of like West Indian, spicy food. That's my food of choice.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. This was a great interview.
Is this a way to get to Jadakiss? Because he and I were supposed to get on the phone. It didn't quite happen. I figured if I did this interview, maybe this would be a way to get to him.
Right? Yep. But we'll talk afterwards. Thank you. SoRaspy.com, Vinova. So I'm here with Yandy from Love and Hip Hop and her adorable baby here. Her security. I just wanted to know, where do you have a stylist, or you know, where do you get your inspiration for your
color? I like flowy tops. Hi, how are you? And you know, I like showing my booty, so I wear some tight pants. I got a cute little booty. I don't got a big chest, but I got a cute booty. So, you know.
And right now, like on Twitter, all over the internet, everybody's saying that you're like the queen right now. Like everybody aspires to be like you. They're like, Yandy is a businesswoman. Like she's really like, she's level-headed. How does that make you feel?
A lot of pressure. I got to keep it up. Yeah. You know, I got to keep it up. Yeah, I mean, that was the reason why I really joined reality TV in general. Not necessarily Love and Hip Hop, because wherever I was going to be this person. But I wanted to be an inspiration. I wanted to be someone that people can look at on reality TV and feel like, I want to be like her, you know? So I keep my composure as much as I can. Even if I want to strangle you or G-check you, I got to do it in a classy way, you know?
Well, it is working. It is working. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you. Take care.
Say bye, Amir.
Say bye. Bye. Bye, guys.